Hey, so I've got to work on my pressure washer, so I went to YouTube and I've got the service video up on the screen, and then I've got my pressure washer up on the, let's see if you can see it, up on the table. So it's up at my height, and I'm not going to film all of it, maybe just some of the salient points or whatever. The main thing I'm doing is I want to see if there's anything different or I run into any issues following their video. I've watched the video a couple times. It's very straightforward process. I just figured I would, since I'm going to do this, I would go ahead and record some of it and just see if I run into any issues. I don't think I will, but if you're like me, you know, nothing ever goes the way it goes when you watch their video, because they have the pump on a nice clean bench, and I've got a pump on the machine. It's not a nice clean bench, so we'll see what happens. Okay, first thing is you remove these, all 6 of these. Some of them are a little tighter than others, but they're supposed to have thread locker on them, so got my handy dandy Harbor Freight bolt catcher here. Make sure nobody's still tight. Don't want to tweak this thing, so you want to try to make sure one of them isn't still grabbing, so they're all loose. So it says I pull these out, and then I pop this manifold off. That's step 1 in the cat video. And one thing you'll see, Simpson, this is a Simpson pressure washer. So Honda motor, cat pump, which is what I wanted. I wanted the cat pump for sure. One, because they're supposed to be indestructible unless I'm using it. But 2, they're rebuildable. That's why they're called cat. It says it has 9 lives. Well, I've already used up one of mine, so. But one thing I was trying to figure out what model it is, and I talked to one of the engineers at CAT actually for a different reason, but if you see, this is where you put oil in. This is where I'll put a picture. There's nothing in there now, but this was water and oil mixed. And down here's the drain. Well, when Simpson builds this, I think it's just the guy said it so they don't have to make jack with this frame. They just rotate the pump upside down. So on most of them, this would be the drain, and this would be the fill, and this manifold would be over here on this side. But he said it's irrelevant. That's just, he said it doesn't matter how you mount it. He said you can actually mount it this way or this way. So, because I was looking, and every picture I saw had the manifold over here, and I'm like, was this the right one? And this is a 4DX, 4DNX. Anyway, so that's just FYI, if you're trying to identify your pump, they can be mounted 180 out. So,
flat tip screwdriver between the crankcase and manifold.
Hear that?
Along the seal retainer and pry away.
All right. Let's just take a flat tip screwdriver. Stick it in here. And what did he say? Pry away. Okay. Well, there's actually, yeah. Just kind of rock it back and forth. You can, obviously it's a pretty tight fit. Let me pull this away. Okay. What's happening is somehow water is getting past these seals into the crankcase. And that's what we're here to fix, replacing seals. I'm going to replace them all. I bought the kit, which is the rebuild kit, which is this. And the cheapest I could find this delivered to my house was $87. That's right, $87. Most places had $110. I found a car wash supplier, based some company that like sells to car washes, you know. They had the kit for $67, but then it was like, you know, I paid like $15 to ship this. Yes, whatever. It is what it is. So, okay, it said the first step is to use a screwdriver. Pry open these. I gotta do this. Okay, so there's, and I'm putting this, I want to stack stuff like that, so. I feel like I'm working on a freaking Rolls Royce, so I don't want to screw anything up. These pumps are not cheap. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do different than the instructional video, it says use a pair of reverse pliers, which are basically pliers that when you squeeze them would go like this. Because they want you to reach in here and grab this part of the seal. But I don't have reverse pliers, so I'm thinking, looks like I'm having luck. If I'm gentle, I can rock it out with a pick. Yeah, so. Hey, this video is going to be useful for something. So there you go. First thing I've done different than the factory instructions. But you got to admit, it's pretty cool for them to take the factory video or like the technician video and just throw it up on the internet for anybody to look at. That's why I liked them. Plus, it's an American company. So there. Just be careful. This is brass, so you don't want to just go He-Manning on it. But if you're gentle, which it may not look like it, but I'm being pretty gentle. I'm trying not to dig in. You can see it just kind of, once you loosen it, pops out. Okay, the next thing is just to take out the high pressure seal, which are these. Gentle, very gentle. Nice and easy. Ah, there we go. Okay, I went and got some paper towels. So what I'm going to do is really want to clean this out so I can get a good look at it. You can see all this. I don't know if this is grease or if it's the seal coming apart. Because what happened, I will admit to what the reason this thing is under the knife. It's only got like 30 hours on it, which is nothing for this kind of pump. But I always, when I'm using it, the first thing I do is I hook the water hose up. I take the wand isn't on. I hook the water hose up to it. Then I turn the water hose on and I let it run until water is coming out of the end of the high pressure hose. So no, everything's got water in it. The system's all primed. Then I got to turn the water hose off, put the wand on. Then I got to turn the water hose back on, and then start the pump. Well, I did everything except I forgot to turn the water hose back on. So I started the pump, and I'm sitting there pulling the trigger. I'm like, what's going on, man? I did a little squirt, then nothing, then nothing. I'm like, what is going on? And I finally figured out what was going on, but I was like, I had to run over and turn it on. So this pump ran for probably 25 seconds with no water flowing through the manifold, which wouldn't be bad if it was under pressure. But the problem is there was no water coming in, so it pumped the water out, and I ran it dry for like 25 seconds. And it didn't like it. It got water in the oil, because I think it got hot or jacked the seal up. Then it kept working fine. Had water in the oil, and I don't know if it stopped leaking. Once I got water in the oil, I'm like, time out. So, okay, I'm getting my carb cleaner. Or no, what is this? Brake cleaner, whatever. Kind of solve it. Yeah, that looks, you can see what it took off. My gut feeling is, in the big scheme of things, this step probably doesn't matter. So I guarantee at some shop they probably wouldn't be doing this, but I'm not at a shop. So, okay, and what I'm doing right now is I'm going through these three, whatever these things are, and I'm really just cleaning them. That's the old O-ring, I haven't put the new one on yet. But I'm really going through and getting these things clean. So you can see that it's discolored, I think probably from heat. But it's clean. You can see all the crap I got. This is all just this one, so. Okay, so the next step, which I'm gonna do, is, so I've got these cleaned. I've got this is all clean, these are all clean. Pull these O-rings off. Nothing special there. I don't know if I said it already, but I'm keeping everything in the same order. So obviously these don't move, so I don't think they really wear into each other, but just for my own peace of mind. One of the things, let's see how this, I sure hope I don't have to chase every one of these with a razor blade. Hoping it's kind of like seal a mill where oh Lord. Alright, I'll be back. You got to cut every one of these out with a razor blade, which I don't care. My concern is I got to be super careful. I don't want to screw it up. Looks like maybe if I get in here, that was an exercise in futility. Oh my goodness. I mean, if this cost like $5 or something, I wouldn't be worried about it, but this is $80 in seals here. Oh man, what a pain. Just be careful. And you can look at this, most of y'all will recognize this stuff. Apparently the seals are coated, or they have a little bit of an anti-seize on them, so anyway. First you put the high pressure seal, I don't know, this one. Okay. It goes in first, and the groove goes down. So it goes in like this, not like that, but like this. Okay, those all look good. Next to the O-rings. This groove. And they say in the instructional in Cat's video, they said lubricate this. They don't say with what. So I'm just going to use some cat oil, the oil for the crankcase of the pump. I've got it right here. This is the oil that's supposed to go in the crankcase. And it's actually not that, you know, you think it's like the yellow cat stuff, which is, you know, expensive, but it was $9 at Home Depot sells it. The guy I talked to at Cat Pumps said, so when you go to buy the oil, just Home Depot keeps it in stock. I was like, really? Because on Amazon, it's $19. So these, skip with your finger, just pressed in place. I hope that's what they said. Yeah, just push them in. There. Now these seals go on, same thing. This side goes down. I'm going to get these in as much as I can. They will be forced in once this is mounted back up and it's torqued. So this is done. Now we switch over to the other side of the pump. Okay, the next step is to replace the seal on these. So, where's my pick? Oh, here's that was some of the oil that came out of the crankcase on this thing. Out of this crankcase, not the engine. You ever seen a blown head gasket or something like that? You know what that yellow oatmeal mix looks like. Anyway, pop this out. And see, I'm curious. I might have to call the cat guy and ask him. Oh, okay. Because in their video, which their video is awesome, say it again, they said this little hole right here allows water to escape, but there's one on both ends. So I was just curious if, since Simpson installs this thing upside down, if that meant the water couldn't get out. But you can see there's already a provision for that, because there's one of these under here. I don't know if you can see it right there, but so the pump's already set to come out either way, or to be installed either way. what I'm getting at is this is the fill cap for the oil. You just take this and put it on down here and put the drain plug on this one. So these come off. And I'm going to clean those. I got some funk in there. So these are ceramic pistons. And this is what does all the pressurizing. It's kind of cool. I was wondering what the material would be, and it's interesting that they're ceramic. And they said in their video, one of these has a step on it. Oh man. Which I don't know exactly what they're, talking about that thing. So that goes like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all these out and get them all clean. So you're not going to miss anything. I'm just rubbing it down with a towel. Okay, I've got the 3 plungers out and cleaned, and you'll notice each one of them has a crack in it. There's a crack on that one, but it's just right here. You can see how far deep it goes. It's just because of this shoulder. This one has, I think one of these has 2 cracks. There's a crack there, right across from each other. And this one has 2 little cracks right next to each other. And in the video they say, inspect these and look for cracks. They didn't really say how big of a crack. I mean, I'm assuming what they're talking about is if you have a crack that's like all the way, like this thing's trashed, but we're going to run it, see what happens. Another thing, just a reminder when I did this little short segment, is they use threadlocker. So you need to brush that, you need to get that stuff off, wire wheel it, brush, whatever. I didn't feel like swapping my wire wheel on my grinder. I only have one right now, so I'm just using this. But get the thread locker off, because they want you to use some, blue thread locker when you put it back in. And the main thing is this thread locker will mess with your torque values, because it'll add resistance. So just, thread locker is easy to get off. You just brush it off. It's not like anything. It's not like rust or anything. It'll pretty much just flake off once you start hitting it. Just remember to do it. And then also, I don't know what I'm gonna use, a pick or something, but try to clean up. You can see all this stuff. This is all thread locker. I've gotten this one pretty clean. So these 2, I'm gonna keep jacking with, and I'll come back when I've got everything clean and ready to start putting it back together. Here's a little tip. I'm got everything clean. I'm just cleaning these out. I popped the spark plug out. You can't really. It's just laying there, so it's easy to spin the motor. So you can get. I've cleaned these 2. I'm trying to get to this one. So now with just one hand, barely pulling. Let's see, I can get there. And these rags from Harbor Freight are freaking awesome. You get a big case of them. I don't remember how much it costs, but crazy cheap. I was using a paper towel for some of this stuff, but once you get to cleaning, and I should have been doing it before, use one of these rags, because the last thing you want to do is get a chunk of paper stuck in here. So, whoa, hold on now, quit drinking. Next thing is to put it back together, and it says to get these 2 out. So now you take this, this is all you have left in your kit, are these little things. Put this on here, and put this on here. Now these you want to keep in order. So this one goes to this one, number 2, number 3. Don't mix these up, because these have worn in. So I'm gonna assemble, get all three of these put together. Flat side against the washer, or whatever that thing's called. And I found out a long time ago, which was probably explains some things. This stuff actually tastes pretty good. You ever had to bite the tip off one of these things? It squirts some in your mouth. It's kind of sweet. Yeah, I know it's probably not desirable or advisable. Is that the right word? Let's see. Oh, good. We got some in there. So just a little dab will do you. And 55 inch-pounds is the target tightness. So we're going to put this on here. Probably can't see anything, but this is a torque wrench, and it's set to 55 inch-pounds. And that's what we're doing. Come on, baby. Maybe I should go this way. All right. I feel we're sneaking up on something. All right. And just because I'm a weirdo, let's go ahead and go to 58. All right. All right. So there we go. The only thing they say is make sure the tabs are in there and the flat side out. Then you put the manifold on. And that's the big brass thing we were working on. Grease on there. They didn't do it, so I won't do it either. Let's see if it starts going on, I'll just put it, yeah, it's going on. You just push. That's what I thought was happening. It's stopping at these seals. So, okay, what I've decided to do is do it a little different than they do in the video. So I went ahead and got these on the pump. Then all I'm doing is aligning these, because everything else fits fine. And I think this is where my problem is. So this way I'm not fighting two things at once. So let's see if this helps at all. Yeah. So there you go. That's another thing I'm doing differently than they did in their video. And that seemed that, I mean, I don't know, maybe that dude was a gorilla, but a little girly boy like me, I need all the help I can get, and that just made it infinitely easier to slide that thing on. Okay, on Kat's video, it has the sequence, the tightening sequence. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, and I'm not torquing it yet. I'm just gonna suck it down slowly. So let's put a little on them. So we're gonna go 1, 2, come on, there we go, 3, 4, and so I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna be looking at it this way so I can see this gap. Okay, so as we're tightening this up against this, you can see this gap right here. This surface will get flush with this one. So what we want to do is make sure we go over evenly both this way and also this way. Well, you know, we want it to go over even, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here. Make sure these are all at least finger tight. Watch if I top this number 1. It's pulling the top in. So go down to number 2, which is on the bottom. Pulls the bottom in. But now we're a little bit bigger back here than we are up here. It's probably hard for y'all to see that. So we go to number 3, pulls the top in and evens it out. Let me go over here to number 4. Pulls the bottom in and evens it back out. So now we're back even, and then 5 and 6 are just, you don't really use those to make adjustments because they're on the extreme. They're on one end or the other, so I wouldn't use those to make any adjustments to this. I would just use them to, they just need to keep up with everybody else. And okay, so let's touch. We're gonna touch and then go, let's see, three-quarters of a turn. Just 1, 2. Ooh, that's as much as I want to do. Excuse me. So there. And then 5 and 6, we just use your fingers. Now we just need to torque it down, and it's the same torque value, 55 inch-pounds. And this is still set at 58, so I'm going to put the same amount of tightness. 2, 3. Wow, these are already hitting. 4, 5, 6. So now let me just go hit them all. There's 1. Just doing click, and I'm doing like a 16th of a turn. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it, we're done. So next thing you should see is either me cussing or this thing working. I'm gonna pull it down, hook the hose up. Let's go find out what's going on, man. All right, talk to you a little bit. Man, I don't know which one of y'all I heard yelling. Thank you. This would have been pretty stupid to do all that and start it up with no oil in it. So you can see here's a sight glass. And it takes 8 ounces. And I've got enough, which you can't really see, but there's enough in here to change it again because I'm going to run this for, damn it, I need to take some out. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I'm going to run this for about 3 or 4 hours just to get any water out, and I'll drain it and go back. But now I'm not going to film it. I'm going to take a little bit of this out because I'm anal like that. I want it right on the thing. So that's another thing. Put it in, wait a second. It's a little slow reacting. But I'm going to get this to level and we're going to take it outside and fire it up, see what happens. Seems to be running fine. Can't really tell, but the oil level's staying good. No water in it. It's hard to do one-handed. This has already been cleaned. See right there the difference, that line. So I've already done all of this. Now I'm just working down here. But glad to have my pressure washer back. So hope that video helps somebody. See ya. Just a final follow-up. So there's my surface cleaner. When I say surface cleaner, you know what I'm talking about. I'm washing them using this white tip, the weakest one besides the car wash. So I did this all the way down. Not this, I'd done this before. This is when it busted when I was in there. But all down, around, and about, well, you can't see, but see where it's wet right there, over to about right here. So this is about 35 minutes, 40 minutes, because what I do is I power wash it off, do a section at a time, but power wash it, surface clean it, then power wash it again. But you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it's just oil. The line is a little bit above the red dot, but this thing ain't level right now. There's no water in it. So, seal kit worked. Now, finally, hope that helps somebody. See ya.